The No Money But Dreams podcast is for those millennial dreamers
who try to be in the top 1%.
It doesn't matter what we've achieved.
We wake up every morning with the mindset that we're still broke,
We welcome you on our journey in search of that home run.
which can change everything.
Everything?
Everything.
What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the No Money But Dreams. Today, we are going to be looking at the past challenge, which me and Tarik set ourselves for the first quarter of 2022, how we felt about it, what we learned, and Tarik is going to surprise me with his new challenge for this quarter, I believe, on air.
Yep.
Woo!
Yeah, so first of all, we did it. We did an episode called Excuses at the end of last year, and we said enough is enough.
Yep.
We're going to change how we look, and we're going to go after a six-pack. I put money down, 50K, which was a lot of money. And if I had not achieved it, you would have had to keep it, or you would have been able to keep it.
Which would have been nice.
Yes. Thankfully,
But we did.
Thankfully, that didn't happen. And we want to talk about this a little bit. Not too long, but really just to
Kind of have like a debrief over the...
yeah, and like what it showed us, because we set it out, and you know, I hadn't achieved a six-pack in 10 years.
I have never ever had anything close to what I have today.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, it was 10 years of trying and failing and trying and failing, and
Half-assing it, basically.
yeah, exactly. Not setting the right priorities, not going at it with everything that you have. And this time we really changed.
Yep.
So the plan was eat not more than 2,000 calories a day for me. Eat not more than 2,000 calories a day, burn 3,000 calories in total, 1,000 through exercise. Exercise for an hour a day. I ended up doing about an hour a day, doing 4 days of cardio, 3 days of weights. And I worked out every single day, didn't take a break.
Yeah, me too.
I switched up the exercise between cardio and weights, so that when my muscles felt tired, I concentrated on a different body part, but I didn't stop. I didn't have a cheat day. I had pretty much the same breakfast every single day, which was
The Tarik shake.
Yes, the Tarik shake, which consists of 70 grams of oats, 1 banana, 200 grams of 200 milliliters of almond milk, and a spoon of peanut butter, which is 500-600 calories. But it got me to lunchtime, and it was after my workouts, which was really important for me, because I tend to start snacking if I crave anything, and this just got me going. In the night, I didn't really snack. I tried to have dinner close to 6 o'clock. Obviously, with our schedules, that doesn't always work. So I had sometimes 7, 8 o'clock dinner, but I stayed, I didn't have really late dinners. And on the weekends, I didn't go crazy, which I know that you like your cheat day.
I love my cheat day.
Yeah,
But I had to rein it in.
Yeah, and you would eat like a pizza, a burger, and all sorts on your cheat days. We didn't do this. We stayed the course, and the end result speaks for itself. I mean, I started at 86 kilos, which already... I started working out in December, right? I didn't just start at the challenge. But 86 kilo, usually at 85, I would break and return and get back up to 92 kilos. So I started at 86, which was pretty lean for me already. And I went down, the lowest in the challenge was actually 78.9.
What?
Which is something that I hadn't seen since I was 18. Which is crazy. And back at 18, I would work out like 3-4 hours a day, play basketball in the mornings and the afternoons. So to get to this level, and getting to this level, I got to it like towards the end of March, which means 10, 11 weeks of training. In those 11 weeks, I lost fat, but more importantly, I gained muscle mass, right?
Yeah.
Which means that getting down to like, let's call it 79, meant I lost 7 kilos, including the muscle mass that I gained, right?
Yeah.
I'm still not huge, but I can do pull-ups again. I can lift weight at a completely different level.
Yeah, you can move your own body weight around very comfortably.
Yeah, exactly. So like now I sit at around the 80 level, right? Which I'm very comfortable with. I've got my 6-pack. I've got picture proof, no filters taken or anything like this.
Which filters were you using then?
And I was very proud to achieve this, right? But what it taught me was if I put my head down for 90 days, which is something like if someone talks about a 5-year plan, man, I don't know what I'm doing next week, right?
Yeah.
But 90 days, everyone can imagine 90 days.
Yeah.
And if you go at something, and we deliberately started with a workout regime or a workout goal for the first challenge in the first quarter, because we both believe to be high performers, we got to be in peak condition. And, you know, this isn't a goal of like running a marathon or anything like this, or, you know, getting hench. This is a goal of, you know, getting a 6-pack is not something that you can buy or cheat your way to. Like you really got to stick to it for an amount of time to get to that level.
Yeah.
So that's why we chose this this goal, and achieving it really has shown that you can achieve anything. And this is really where you now think, hey, wait a moment, like what else can I achieve?
Yeah.
Right? Where can I go from here?
You technically should be able to achieve 4 things every single year if you're going to break it down into each quarter, whether that's learning a new skill, getting into a healthy regime, habit forming, basically.
But okay, this was all about me. Like I need to shed some light on your journey as well, because it's crazy. You used to be 97 kilos last year.
Even more, man, at one point. Yeah, maybe 97, yeah.
Let's call it 97.
Yeah.
What are you today?
Today, I weighed in the lightest I've ever been since I can even remember. I don't even know. Maybe I wasn't even this at 18. It was 82.8.
82.8. So,
Yeah.
bro, you have gone down 14 kilos. And I remember at the beginning of the challenge, you had no confidence that you would actually be able to get the 6-pack, right? And like get completely, like 14 kilos at our age, that's huge.
Yeah.
And it's not like you were not in shape before. Like you were going to the gym for the last 4 or 5 years, right? You just had your cheat days and you didn't watch your food like on a consistent level.
Yeah.
But to get to this level and retain a lot of the muscle mass and reduce a lot of, like you had a lot of belly, like, you know, the gut that everyone in our age kind of has, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And to reduce this, and like if someone watched your cardio videos where you're punching a bag or you're doing stuff,
I completely learned a new skill as well, self-taught.
Yeah.
Like the other day, I was in the gym, I was punching the bag, and there was a black belt jiu-jitsu guy there, and he's like, "You fight?" And I was like, "Damn, that's like the best compliment you could ever give me, dude."
Yeah, and that's just amazing. Like that journey from 3 months of kind of starting from, I'm someone that goes to the gym, to now actually having a result that is very tangible, that you see every day in the mirror, and feeling so much better. Like you should really be proud of that, and that's amazing to see.
I mean, and mentally, physically, like I knew that getting into, look, as a kid, as we've spoken about, like as a younger kid, I was really fat. You know what I mean? So I never ever thought that I would actually get a 6-pack. But getting it mentally, I'm in such a good place as well.
Yeah.
Like with the hydration and just eating the right amount of food, like your body doesn't
sleep.
The right amount of sleep. Your body doesn't work being fat. Your body doesn't work not sleeping enough. Your body doesn't work in all these things which we know we need to do, but people just brush it off, like go out one night, stay out later. You know what I mean?
And this is the amazing thing.
And it doesn't make me happier at all. This is what makes me happy.
But the amazing thing is everyone knows what they're supposed to do.
Yeah, it's not rocket science.
It's like I didn't do, like all the things that I listed are not anything that no one can do. I didn't say I went on like marathon kind of distance runs and stuff. I went running 5 times in the whole challenge. I hate running.
Yeah.
This running, and the funny thing is, I wasn't able to run 6 kilometers under 30 minutes since I was a teenager.
Donkey's years.
Where we used to do this as like summer practice to prepare for the season, right? And that means you have to run 5 kilometers, 5-minute kilometer splits, right?
Yeah.
And that's tough, man. When you sit behind a computer all day and you don't run like you used to, it's tough to run at that level, at least for me, right? And I hate running. And in this challenge, I really wanted to get under this 30-minute mark for the 6 kilometers. But instead of training for it like crazy, where you go 2-3 times a week, I just kept working on my stamina. Yeah, I used to do a lot of bike rides, which were 130, 140 kind of heart rate. And then I did like Stairmaster, which is
That's brutal. Stairmaster is so brutal.
It's brutal, but when you beat that Stairmaster, that feeling afterwards of accomplishment is just amazing.
Next to none, huh?
Yeah. So then I did rollerblading, which I used to do as a teenager quite a lot. And I used to do like an hour a week, basically. I went on a canal and just went really early in the morning. And that's cardio that I don't see as cardio. Yeah. It's just like fun time outside, right? Yeah. Listen to music, listen to a podcast, whatever. And then I went back to playing basketball and just shooting hoops for an hour. This is basically my 3-4 times a week of cardio kind of exercise, which for me, it was fun. Like I was losing weight and I was getting into shape without really having to work hard for it. And then as a byproduct, in the last week, when I hadn't run for 3 weeks before that, I said, okay, today I'm going to break this record. And I went 20 minutes on the bike to warm up. And then I went for 30 minutes, probably as hard as I could.
What speed?
12. Well, 12 has to be the average, right? So that you run 6 kilometers
and a half. And down?
So I did 12 to start. And then I tried.
12 is pace, huh?
12 is pace, especially from the get-go. It's not like 8-9 minutes of like 8 and then you go up slowly. I went 12 from the beginning because I thought if I start too slow, I will have to go to 14, 15 at the end and I may be dead.
Yeah, nobody wants to get to 15 at the end.
Yeah, exactly. So I started with 12 and I just said, I'm not going to diet now. I'm not going to die this minute. I'm going to keep going. And I kept going. And by the end, like minute 25, usually on the runs before, I would really like go up to like 14 and whatever. But when you have 25 minutes of 12 in your legs, man, you don't feel it. And so I could go to 12.6 and I wasn't able to pump it any higher than that. And because the first minute wasn't at 12, because it keeps going up, right?
Yeah.
I was like scared that I wasn't going to be under 30. So 12.6 and it got me in at 29.50 or whatever. Oof. So just under. But keeping that pace and having your heart rate go between 170 and 180 for the entire 30 minutes, and you not giving up, because at that point your brain just tells you stop.
Yeah.
Don't go anymore. Like it doesn't matter. Like you didn't achieve this, fair enough.
It's okay.
Yeah. And I didn't give up and I kept going, and it was like in day 28, I remember I uploaded a video of like character building where I did it under 35 minutes, right? Yeah. So, to put this into perspective, before I started the challenge, I did the same 6 kilometers in 42 minutes.
Whoa.
Right? So I shaved off 12 minutes and I only ran 5 times.
Yeah.
Right? The same as when it comes to six-pack. This whole time, I probably worked out six-pack 10 times.
Yeah.
The first week, I was very adamant, I need to do plank and whatever. But at the end of the day, it's the fat on top, on your gut that needs to go before the six-pack comes out. 100. So I did a little bit at the beginning and I did a little bit at the end. But when you do squats, when you work out all sorts of different body parts, when you do rollerblading, when you do the cardio, you're already engaging your core, right? Yeah. So at the end, I didn't actually do so much core exercise to be able to get the six-pack, which is really contrary to what everyone believes when you train for a six-pack, right? Yeah. So we both did exercise that we enjoy, because otherwise you can't sustain it for 90 days. Yeah. And we just did very basic kind of things. So if you stay with this, who says that whoever is listening can't achieve the same result? It may not be possible in 3 months, right? But it depends on your starting point. If you keep going at it, you will be able to get it. And if you had told me this before the challenge, where I wasn't able to achieve it for 10 years, and I actually failed 5 times, and at each of these times I thought, this time I'm going to get it. Because it was my wife or my dad or some of my friends telling me, you won't succeed, you will give up again, right? Yeah. And you believe that you can achieve it, and then you don't achieve it, and you're upset with yourself, right?
Yeah, you're letting yourself down. Man.
Exactly. And this time, finally, you did it, right? So that's just an amazing feeling.
It is the best feeling in the world, honestly. And I suggest anybody to try and do it, because when you're feeling an optimum performance physically, everything else falls into place.
Yeah.
No, I think it was great to be accountable, putting ourselves accountable. But for me, what really did it more than anything was when you would like send me something and be like, what about you? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck, I'm being lazy, man. I need to get up. I need to work a little harder. Maybe I need to train like an extra 20 minutes. And I got to the point now, bro, like I literally have to leave the treadmill or leave the gym because it's time.
Yeah.
I can't spend more than an hour and a half in the gym.
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense. Like I'm not an Olympian. I have a job. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and exactly. Like,
but my stamina is through the roof, dude. Like I can keep going and going and going and going and going.
Yeah.
It's never ending.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the other thing that I want to prove in the way that I did it, that you don't need to spend 2, 3, 4 hours in the gym.
You don't need to spend 2 or 3, 4 hours in the gym. You don't need to spend 2,000 dirhams on a trainer. You don't need to buy special food.
There's another thing. And I got to mention this.
But so many people actually, when I've been noticing now, have trainers and they're useless. Not the trainer. But the trainer doesn't actually push them. It becomes like a social club.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you see before and after 9 months and nothing's changed. It's like, and you're paying this guy 2,000-3,000 dirhams a month and getting no result.
Yeah.
How do you live with yourself?
Yeah, but bro, remember at the beginning of the challenge how you suggested we should get trainers?
I suggested, I know, but there's no
and
need.
we've proven to ourselves that if you are honest with yourself, you don't need a trainer, you don't need a nutritional plan, you don't need any of this.
That's the whole point. You got to be honest with yourself.
Yeah.
You know whether you ate well or you didn't eat well.
Yeah.
And it's okay if you don't eat well once.
Yeah.
But don't just keep going down the slippery slope of like self-pity and all of that, you know?
What you said with like keeping ourselves accountable, obviously I tried to trick my brain with putting a lot of money on the line, but this kind of like us like kind of doing it together and keeping ourselves accountable, that also like when you see the pounds dropping with the other guy and you're like, like I'm stuck at the same level. And this happened a couple of times, right?
Yeah, for sure.
I was stuck at 83, I was stuck at 80. I couldn't, man, for like 10 days, I couldn't get below 80.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, why? And then you automatically start doing more cardio, and that's obviously counterproductive, right?
Yeah.
And I start working out like with the same plan that I had at the beginning. So I'm not saying like it was smooth sailing and we just achieved it, right? Like it's a lot in your brain. Like you just gotta keep having the end goal in mind and just keep going at it. And you're surprised at when it actually happens. Like I remember I went from 80 point something to 78.9, which was the lowest in the end of the challenge, right? And I didn't expect it on that day at all. I didn't do cardio.
All, I know
nothing.
What you mean, yeah.
I did legs on that day. And all of a sudden, boom, like you've got an amazing result, right? Yeah. And okay, so let's
keep chipping away at it, man.
Exactly. Let's take it away. So that was kind of like a summary from what we did in the last 3 months. But what I'm really excited about, and when we sat down at the beginning of the year looking at goals, I think we now found something that is really interesting to us with this 90-day challenge. And I was listening to Winning by the same guy that wrote Relentless.
Tim Grosvenor.
Yeah, which you're a big fan of.
Huge fan.
And yeah, I'm a big fan of his as well. And in Winning, he basically says, when you start winning, you want to up the stakes, right? The winners, basically, they keep upping the stakes.
Yeah,
and
that's why they keep winning.
And they're not afraid to fail, right?
No.
So this brings me now to the next challenge. And I've been itching to tell you, but I thought, let me leave it to do it live on air and get your live reaction, because I'm going to go so crazy.
Oh, man, what is this going to be?
Because I know that you were shocked when I told you about the six-pack challenge, and I want this to, I want to keep challenging myself, right? Because this is what keeps things interesting. Like I get bored by routine. I want to do something that is so outrageous. Like it sounded to me outrageous that I was going to wire you 50K and not get it back, right? That's outrageous.
Completely outrageous.
Yeah, exactly. So I want to keep this going. I want to keep doing things to challenge myself that I don't have a clear pathway of how I'm going to achieve this, but I want to look back at it after 90 days and say, man, I did this and I had no clue. And now I'm going to bring back together.
What is it going to be, man?
Together what kind of like our journey when we were on Driven and we had no clue how to do a tech startup, and we had no insights, no connections, no nothing, right? So my next challenge is going to be to create a Netflix series from scratch.
That's so dope.
Bro, I have no idea about how to create. And I've never done this, right? I've never done a documentary. I've never created a film. I've never done any of this, right? And when you read into it, they tell you, oh, you need an agent. You need all sorts of different things, right? To be able to get there. And I have nothing. I have nothing at the moment. Well, I started writing, yeah.
Netflix series. So you're going to write a story?
I'm going to write a story.
Okay.
I'm going to write actually 8 stories.
Okay.
That I think millions of people need to watch.
Okay.
And it has to do with my industry that I'm in. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's my experiences over the last 10 years and basically the craziest stories that I've come across. And I know that in my field, people keep making the same mistakes that they don't need to make, right? And by going as extreme as you possibly can, people will understand what is at stake.
Yeah.
Right? And so I set myself this as a challenge. And
you have we have what?
I have 3 months.
3 months to produce it and direct it?
No, that's a bit too crazy. But
Okay.
I want, by the end of the 3 months,
Okay.
I want to be there to have the 8 episodes
Okay.
that at the moment in my head, I want to record. And I have no clue whether it's going to be 8, 12, 2, 5, whatever it's going to be. But at the moment, I can envision 8, right?
Okay.
And I have no clue how I'm going to get from point A to point B. And I know I'm making it.
I like
very
those
public.
kinds of. I love those kinds of challenges and those kinds of ideas.
I make my. It's very public, and I don't really want to fail.
For some reason, I thought it was going to be Iron Man that you wanted to do, because I have a friend doing that. He's doing the half Iron Man. I'm like, oh my god, please don't be that.
No. Look, I'm very happy with I said to myself 10 years ago, I want to run a marathon at some point, right?
Yeah.
And prove to myself that I can do it. But I hate running, so
Yeah.
I've gone away from that.
Running, bicycle, like the proper
Yeah.
bicycle. I don't mind swimming, but like
No, the swimming I would suck. I
Yeah.
could do the bicycle, but the swimming
Yeah.
I'd be bad. So I'm not going down that route, but I'm going down something. And the great thing for me is I have no clue how to do it.
yeah, starting from literally scratch.
From
Zero.
scratch. Yeah. But I know that I can tell a story. I know
yeah.
that I can get people hyped.
For sure.
So I have something to say, and it will be a very interesting journey that I'm
You
going to
need
be
a
on.
director.
Yeah.
Need a producer.
I need everything. I need everything. And then the most interesting thing is, okay, I can write it, yeah, but what are you going to do with that, and how are you actually going to get it into production and into Netflix,
Yeah.
right? I mean, Netflix doesn't just produce anything.
At all.
You got to be top notch to get selected and be able to get it to that level. So yeah, this is my little side project. 90 days, writing every day, keeping myself accountable, and creating stories that are going to have to be very appealing for anyone to find it interesting.
Well, that is a big feat, but can I be involved?
Yeah.
Can I support?
Of
I want to
course.
do the directing or something here, man.
Of course, man. I need feedback. I need to improve the scripts. I need to add more to the story. I've got my ideas, but to create a 40-minute, 60-minute kind of episode
It takes a lot of work.
Yeah, if you look at actually Netflix and you look at what the budgets are for some of these misfits and one of their original series, it's crazy.
Yeah, it is.
Obviously, I don't want to create something like that. Mine is going to be more, at the moment, I envision it more like a documentary,
Yeah.
right? But even that, to fill that much time, you got to have a lot of content.
100%.
And you got to keep people engaged. You don't want people to switch off, right?
Exactly.
And if I tell these stories in the right way, they're going to be so engaging and people won't be able to switch off and want to binge watch the whole thing.
That's what we want.
Yeah. So and it goes back to kind of what we were saying at the beginning of the year. Every business has to be a content business, right? And
Every business has to be telling a story.
Exactly. And we are putting ourselves out there personally on LinkedIn, on TikTok, on different kind of media. But this is just an extension of this format.
It's actually a more sophisticated extension of
Yeah, I
of
mean,
it.
it's
Sophisticated.
it's very much out there.
Yeah.
But it was the same with the challenge, right? We created a lot of content out of this.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, up until I started the challenge, the most engaging post was where I said, "Oh, I failed 5 times in 10 years."
Yeah.
It got like something like 2,500 views or something like this. Now, the most engaging view is the 2009 picture of when I had a six-pack and the six-pack picture now from when I finished the challenge. And that got 9,000 views. So
Crazy.
people are interested in consuming content that is relatable, right? And also where there's achievement attached to it, or failure, polarizing kind of views.
Yeah,
right?
it has to be either side of the spectrum.
Yeah.
Being in the middle, no one wants to see that. It's not
Exactly.
interesting at all.
Exactly. So when you create content now, or when I think about content creation, I thought, let's not stay small. Let's go absolutely.
Go big or go home.
Yeah, exactly. And you never know where it takes us. Like the same with this podcast, right? We had no kind of ideas where it would take us. And now we're here recording episode, 17 or something like this.
Yeah, I think it's 17.
And we have so much fun, and different doors open for us, and we start thinking about things in different ways.
100%.
So I think only good things can come out of it. If I fail, which I really hope I don't,
You won't fail.
then I will have a lot of content, which you can record in different kind of way and whatever. I don't even want to think about the failure. I'm just going to focus on
Moving forward.
making this happen one way or another. And it will be an exciting journey, and will take some of my time. But the good thing, so during COVID, I started writing a book, right?
Yeah, I remember.
And every day I would go to the gym, and then for an hour before I start work, I would write, right? And so I would have a clear head because I just finished gym. And then for an hour I would write. And I did this for 6 months straight. And I have like 70, 75 pages, and I'm not publishing it yet because I feel like it's an unfinished kind of story, right? We're just writing the story right now. But I wanted to bring all of these things together so that my kids and like further down the line, I can look back and I can remember, because I feel so much has happened in the last 10, 15 years. If I don't write this down now, I may forget.
Yeah, I genuinely feel that I need to journal more. I have it scheduled in to journal. And I think it's so important to reflect and to keep note of good things and the bad things and how you felt at certain times, because everything changes, man.
Yeah.
Like you look back at a picture the other day, it was my friend's birthday and we were in Iceland 4 years ago. And if you talk to me now and I say in 5 years, I say in 5 years like it's nothing.
Yeah.
But when I look back 4 years ago, wow, what has happened
Yeah.
in those 4 years? And so much has happened if you're applying yourself day in and day out to do stuff. But
Exactly.
keeping a log is really important.
Exactly. So keeping a log, but it was very focused on kind of like my journey and what I've learned so far and how I see the world and how this is changing.
Yeah.
I read a funny meme today where someone said like his Facebook status, or he's so much different to the person that wrote his Facebook status in 2008. Right?
Yeah.
Like we're all not the same anymore as we were
At
15
all.
years ago, right?
Yeah.
So the interesting thing for me now, producing content and like this thought process, trying to write something on paper and making it engaging and all these kind of things, it will challenge you in so many different kind of ways.
Yeah, you'll start to use parts of your brain which you're not actually used to using.
Exactly. So I'm very pumped about this.
That's awesome.
And it will be a crazy journey to tell, and where we get to, we'll see where we are at the end of Q2.
Well, I am going to support you on this by being your producer and director. Okay.
Yep.
And my challenge is and we're going to talk about it later, is that I've always never been able to learn another language fluently.
Yep.
I know a bit of French, I know a bit of Arabic, but either of them I've never actually mastered, and I've let myself down over and over and over since I can remember.
But to put this into perspective, you had, is it 2 years or maybe a year and a half of kind of tutoring on the Arabic side?
Yeah, yeah.
So you have put in the time, and your Arabic is better than mine. You speak Fusha, which is the Shakespeare of Arabic, right? With the Khaliji dialect. But you know how to write, you know how to read, which is something that I never accomplished. I can have a colloquial conversation in the Syrian dialect, and that's about it.
Yeah.
And it doesn't get me very far. But you have...
Gets you pretty far though, actually.
No, but it has surpassed kind of like my abilities, which was like, you have no Arabic I mean, you were born here,
Yeah.
but your parents are French and English.
Yeah.
Like, it's a big ask, right? And to see you progress to the level that you already have is amazing, right? And now to go to the next level and say, like, I can have a conversation and be fluent,
Yeah.
right? That is an amazing.
And that's where I want to
Goal.
go. And I think that that's a big challenge for me. And I've let myself down so many times, but this time it's going to go all the way.
Yeah.
So inshallah, the next time we have this conversation in 3 months, it'll be all in Arabic.
For you, I'll be answering in English. But yeah, that's an amazing goal.
And that's going to open up so many different ways of me seeing things and so many different opportunities.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to see what they're going to come. And we're going to talk about them.
Yeah.
Maybe on your TV show.
So we have 2 amazing challenges ahead. We're going to continue with the challenges. Q3, Q4, we're not going to give up. But these are some steep challenges. And when you read...
Netflix series and fluent in Arabic.
Yeah, that's...
Done.
Yeah, and the other thing, like, if you want to find out more about winning and upping the stakes and what real winners do, go and read Winning by...
Such a good book.
Tim
Grosvenor.
Exactly. He's a great guy. Both of his book, Relentless and Winning,
Top
are just
books.
amazing. And I thought they were going to be very similar.
They're different in their own way.
Yeah, but he puts it so much into perspective and like use different frameworks that really resonated with me. Like the first, I would say half an hour to an hour, I felt like it was very much the same. And then when he goes deep into it, like you get hooked.
Yeah.
Like I was waiting for a flight, 3-hour delay to come back here to Dubai, and I finished like half the book like that.
Just munched it down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I really liked the idea of like upping the stakes and putting more on the line. And
Yeah, you got to
and
keep
winning.
putting more on the line, upping the stakes and pushing yourself.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it.
Thanks so much.
Anyways,
for-
guys, thank you for tuning in. Like and subscribe. Have a good day.